Hello everybody, my name's John Doolittle. I'm talking to you in America. I'm in Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida. And before I get started, I need to say thank you to the Ole House for inviting us to demonstrate and show and share what we've done in our company, KAATSU. World Olympian Association, International Olympic Committee, thank you for inviting us to be part of this Olympic journey. So I'll give you a little introduction on myself. Again, John Doolittle. I grew up in California. I spent really 29 years in the military, 4 years in the Air Force at the U.S. Air Force Academy. And I spent about 25 years in the Navy, a little more than 25. And most of that time, I was in the SEAL teams. And I got beat up pretty good in the SEAL teams. And I had 13 orthopedic surgeries. And during my last 2 surgeries, I was introduced to KAATSU. KAATSU. Japanese word, means increased pressure. If you are watching this in the Ole House or in the virtual Ole House, you probably see the devices in front of you. But just so you know what I'm talking about, this is our Bluetooth. This is a leg band, our Bluetooth device. And then our non-Bluetooth device is here. So when I'm talking about KAATSU, and these are leg bands, when I'm talking about KAATSU, this is what I'm talking about. Now, in the military, the part of the military I was in was U.S. Special Operations Command. So you'll hear me say USSOCOM, that's Special Operations Command. What's happened in the 7 years since I got out of the Navy, and I've been working at KAATSU the whole time, what's happened is the SOCOM community, the Special Operations community, has brought KAATSU into their human performance program. Now, the SOCOM enterprise is 73,000 personnel, and that's across Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. All of our branches of service have a special operations component. So, for example, the Navy has a special operations component, that's where I worked, and that's less than 1% of the entire Navy. So the USSOCOM enterprise, while it's 73,000 personnel, it's actually pretty small compared to the rest of the military. Now, in SOCOM, we consider operators or personnel that work inside SOCOM, we consider them tactical athletes. And when I say tactical athlete, that means an athlete that doesn't peak at any point during the year. They are at a high level of training and they sustain it for 365 days a year, even when they're on leave, even when they're doing advanced training and whatnot. So tactical athletes, they're always going hard and they're often getting hurt, and there's often overuse injuries with our tactical athletes throughout the U.S. Special Operations Command. Now with KAATSU, what's happening is the Human Performance Program has brought KAATSU into these HP programs. And they specifically use KAATSU on the deloading phase of training. So KAATSU, the very basics are, this is a way to get great metabolic outcomes without overly straining the skeletal system and the body. So the HP program, of course, the guys go hard. Of course, they go heavy. I mean, these are special operators. The expectations are very high on these guys. But what's happening is they're actually going heavy less often in their training, and they're doing more of the deloading phase using KAATSU. So they're saving some of that, their body from some of the overuse injuries. A great example of KAATSU use inside the SEAL teams is after a heavy load day, as a finisher, they'll put the KAATSU bands on and they'll do like body weight or very low load exercises, but get a lot of lactate, a lot of metabolic outcome from those low load exercises. So the Human Performance Program throughout Special Operations is experimenting with a lot of this. Now, it's not just the healthy athletes they're using it on. They're using it a lot on the injured athletes as well. So as you can imagine, I spent, of my 29-year career, I was in the SEAL teams for the last 21 years. You get beat up pretty good. There's a lot of overuse injuries. There's a lot of impact. There's a lot of shoulders, neck, back, hip, knee. I mean, the whole gamut. So there's a lot of issues. So it's not a matter of if guys get injured when they're in the SEAL teams or anywhere in special operations. It's when they get injured. So everybody gets injured. Everybody gets injured at some point. And that's where KAATSU comes in. Because if somebody is going through a level of orthopedic rehab, KAATSU is a beautiful tool because these guys are always on the road. They're always on the road. So in a 12-month workup training cycle, they may only be home 30 or 40% of the time. So they're often on the road. And when they're on the road training, they're often dealing with some kind of chronic injury. The beauty of these devices is that they are portable. Guys don't have to be in a physical therapy clinic to be doing PT and staying on top of their game. There's a lot of other things that the U.S. Federal government's looking at with KAATSU. But I think the part that's most exciting to me is how it's being used in the Olympic environment right now. Not necessarily how it's being used in the early training, but how it's being used as a recovery tool. So these devices, this device can be customized, right? So let's say we make it 45 seconds of pressure and say 10 seconds of no pressure. During that pressure phase, when I have this leg band on, all the tissue distal of the band is engorging with blood or stretching open. And the perfusion, the heart's perfusion is increasing. The heart perfusion has to power up to pump blood past that elastic band. So we have the pathway stretching open, we have the heart pumping harder, and then during the release, a flushing sensation. And that is what the athletes really love. It's a way to help flush metabolic waste out of the muscles. So that's a way it's being used a lot throughout different governing bodies. We're definitely doing it that way with our American athletes. We're also being used in the world of esports because there's a reaction time component to this. So the neuromuscular pathways, let's say on our hands and our fingertips, when the guys use KAATSU, we can baseline their reaction time. After doing KAATSU cycles, we can see their reaction time. Now it's not 100%, but 9 times out of 10, we can see their reaction time increase. So you can imagine a speed, accuracy, and reaction time inside our federal government. There's a lot of interest in our various agencies for our military personnel and people that do that kind of work. Obviously, in the athletics world, there's going to be benefit from that. Sleep, wow. We're grateful to the IOC for doing some initial research on what's called flight dysrhythmia or jet lag. So when you're doing the KAATSU cycles and you're in a relaxed mode, it's incredible how when you're doing KAATSU and just in a relaxed mode, it can put the body in the parasympathetic state. And what we see with the sleep trackers is we see stage 3 and stage 4 sleep start to slide to the left. Happens sooner during the sleep cycle just from simply doing KAATSU cycles before the athletes go to sleep. There's a lot of exciting things going on with KAATSU, but it's an honor to be part of the Olympic journey and to be in the Ole House and talking to you all about this. Again, World Olympian Association, IOC, Ole House, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this. I'm sure you have many questions. If you're at the Ole House, please go find Stephen and Chris and have a discussion with them about how KAATSU can help your athletes and how KAATSU can help you. Because if you're a former Olympic athlete, I guarantee you're dealing with some kind of chronic orthopedic issue. KAATSU can definitely help you. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.